StarCast, the StarCraft podcast, is a production of aMove TV. Bookmark amove.tv for other great esports and video game podcasts. Want to support StarCast? Check out our sponsors over at doghousesystems.com, makers of some of the best gaming systems out there. If you use the code StarCast at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system and support StarCast directly in the process. That same code, StarCast, will get you 30% off and free shipping over at tweakedaudio.com. They make high-performance, noise-reducing earbuds. We'd like to thank our sponsors for their support of StarCast, and if you'd like to sponsor an episode directly, you can do so at thestarcast.com.
Hell, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
Greetings and welcome back to StarCast, episode 177. I am Garrett Weinzierl, and with me, as always, is Kyle Fergusson. Kyle, how are you doing, sir? Welcome to 2014 and many, many more episodes of a show about StarCraft.
Oh, thank you. You know, now that I don't do homework and turn it in on paper, I don't get as much practice putting the date, so I'm still screwing it up a lot.
Yeah, and we don't really write a whole lot of checks nowadays either, unless you're, I don't know, a grandmother.
In line.
Yeah, and of course you and I are the person behind it with just a sandwich. We really just need to get back to work. Mm-hmm. But thanks.
And we're just going to wave our phone like magic and things will be paid for and blow her grandma mind.
Do you use that? Do you use the phone payment method?
No.
All right.
I still use, and grab the little pencil thing and enter my numbers.
Gotcha. All right. I always thought that was a little strange. Did you have a good Christmas, sir, and a good New Year's?
I did. I got to relax. I was working through all of Christmas, but got New Year's off and made a long weekend of it. So had an excellent time. You and I got up to some twos, which were exquisite.
They were so great because the weird ass ladder is still in effect, and we're still in bronze, and we're still overthinking it.
Yep, and kicking ass. So
yeah,
it's been a lot of fun.
We did our first Zerg double Zerg 2v2. I'm not sure if we've ever done it, and if we have, it has been a long time since we've gone the same race.
Well, and even if we have done in the past, we never had a plan. And this time we got in. You love mutas. I think they're a little tedious. So I was enjoying myself some roaches, some swarm hosts, some hydralisks, fungals, because I can aim those things like a boss.
Yes, you can. And dear God, people, I know last year was it was littered with me making fun of Kyle for too much swarm host play. But this man makes up for it when he gets an infestor in his hand, because he's just freaking, if it was music, he's like Mozart. If it's art, he's like freaking Picasso. It's just...
Well, what it is too much tower defense, hero, not MOBAs. What's Blizzard calling them now?
What?
Lane strategy games.
Just call it a MOBA, or just say too much Dota, because everyone here knows you play too much Dota.
Yeah, too much Dota.
Too much Dota. Anyway,
over the holiday, they rolled out their new MMR sort of rank system, which I was very pleased to see I got placed in sort of the diamond bracket of Dota.
I heard about that. Congrats, man.
Oh, thank you.
I barely have played any Dota at all since the break. Did play quite a bit of StarCraft. Played a lot of Hearthstone. And if you listen to aMove Radio this week, our other podcast, I played a lot of Rome 2, Total War. Damn,
still strategy.
I really like those games, man. They are hideous, horrifying, deceptive time vampires, though. The Total War series and Civilization just suck hours away. And you don't even realize it. StarCraft, you can realize it because you have a bad game and you take a step back and you're like, "What the hell is going on?" And then you notice the time.
Drink. It's been about 20 minutes, and at the end, of course, it's like you played 20-minute, 17-minute game right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. But Rome, I've got my hood up. I'm just sitting there like a little nerd with those little toy soldiers, and all of a sudden, it's like, I haven't eaten. What time? Oh my god, it's 11 o'clock and my girlfriend's asleep.
That's always a good thing as a gamer. You're sitting there, you got up, you're real excited because you were too exhausted to do the stay up late thing, which honestly, coming out of the holidays, the hardest thing has been the alarms. Let's be serious here.
Yes. Yeah.
That is just, I'm a night person. I spend all day waking up and I'm finally awake and it's like 10 p.m. at night and people tell me to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's
But you get up nice and early because you're excited to play your game, and you forget breakfast, and you start getting real grumpy at the game. You're like, oh, man, I don't feel so well. What's wrong with me? Oh, maybe because it's 1 and I haven't eaten yet.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I'm still not ready to be getting up, even though I've been doing so for over a week now, back to work, all that jazz. But anyways, it's good to be back, and it's time to talk some StarCraft, because there's been talk about patch 2.1 since before we took our break.
No, well before that, I mean, we were talking about while WCS was wrapping up a balance patch in the future happening in the down season, and we're almost done with the down season here.
We're officially done with the down season for the, qualifiers aren't as exciting as the main events, but the qualifiers for WCS are happening. They are going on. Some of them are even finished. So
Yeah.
I would say down season officially over.
Yeah, it's not a time to roll out a patch, basically. You're too late.
Yeah, like what the... I mean, whatever. They're not going to put out a patch just to put out a patch. It's Blizzard. Accept it. So anyway, we still don't know when patch 2.1 is coming out. Different StarCraft 2 community managers even went as far to make official posts on the forums saying, we don't know when it's coming out. Aldrexis and Kyvax, I don't know if I'm pronouncing those correctly, both taking to the forums. Kyvax, a little more interesting. He said that currently it's in a stage where we're busy with quality assurance on it, and since we never know how long that will take, we don't set firm dates for the following stages of patching. So there's that. It was in response to someone being a negative Nancy on the forums, but yeah. So 2CM's letting us know that there is no ETA on patch 2.1.
Nope.
But
it keeps getting bigger, which is nice.
Yes. As a matter of fact, just about an hour ago, a preview for patch 2.1 went up, talking about some of the new things coming in 2.1. It's a small post, but apparently we are going to be getting 3 new portraits, all based around Carbot animations characters, one for each race. We get a Carbot Protoss. The Zealot, we get a Carbot Terran Marine, and we get a Carbot Zergling.
Now, for some reason, in this picture here, they have in the middle of their website, they're only showing the portraits, but go ahead and click on that, and you'll see the decals you get for your bases when you unlock those. And you get a nice little Carbot star.
Oh my god, that makes me so much more excited now.
Isn't that more exciting, right?
I mean, I want the Carbot portraits, but the Carbot stars for around the base, so much more exciting.
Well, what we really want is Carbot skins.
I don't think I want that. They're not gonna unless the whole map is cell shaded Carbot like themed. That's not gonna jive well at all. I don't know.
No.
Also, I don't think his designs would hold up at that weird 3/4 angle. Like they would just look really weird. Imagine if The Simpsons was shot from a sky camera.
It'd be that weird sort of. Well, it happens a lot in cell shading games, particularly ones where you have like unlockable speed boosts, where a character's legs are moving faster or slower than their actual gait is, and things are just weird.
Right.
Part of this, though, that they announced today was a first win of the day XP bonus, which is interesting because that's something that seems like it's going somewhere else. Could be leading to additional features. I mean, we have the XP system, but we're not really hungry for additional XP. I don't think anyone who has a main race picked out is going, damn, I really wish I could get to level 30 already.
Yeah. Yeah, over the holidays, I finally finished out level 30 on both Terran and Zerg. Yeah, no interest in... This is good. I feel like it should have been in the game to begin with, like when experience rolled out. Incentivizing players to play at least one game a day is definitely a way to go. And
yeah.
you and I had a lot of conversations over the break about how odd StarCraft is as a game because a large majority of fans watch it more than they play it.
Right, which is a lot different than in other games. Even when you come to Dota or something, like, people show up for the big events, and you always got your hardcore fans. But, I mean, that's just a game people love to play, and some people just refuse to watch. Whereas StarCraft, you kind of have the opposite situation. And it really just comes down to it's a 1v1, and it's really hard to play.
It's relentlessly unforgiving.
So a lot of people are looking at Hearthstone right now and saying, Blizzard, why don't you kind of take some cues from this? I mean, it's pretty exciting when you level up or you win a game and it's like, yay, and the explosions in your face.
Have a gold card.
Exactly. There's a lot of rewarding sounds that are just unleashing chemicals in your brain and you're totally into it.
Yeah.
And so I think we all kind of want some of that, even though it's completely fake and just thrown at us. And we're not actually collecting cards or anything. It's still exciting.
Yeah. And I mean, we've been kind of led to believe that the addition of in-game, like new in-game skins and models is harder than one would think. Hearthstone was built from the ground up to like constantly just give you these little rewards. Here's a gold card. There's another gold card. It'd be great if in StarCraft, it's like, congratulations, level 10. Here's like you get little pieces for your guys or something. Here's a bayonet for your Marines. Here's like an extra spine for your Queens. And like by the time you're like level 100, all your units look insane.
Right, and something that's really hard to kind of rationalize with that is, again, going back to Dota and its system of items and how everyone can dress up however they want, and some of these, newer outfits are going beyond actual animations, having custom motions and attacks that can go with certain items that you pick up. There's couriers, but really what you're dealing with there is 10 unique figures, and maybe 12 if you're dealing with couriers. And if you have bad players, maybe more than that if they buy multiple couriers. But besides that point.
I've never seen that happen, Kyle. I've never been the person that did that. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you know what I love doing is running to the store right before the game ends and grabbing 2 wards and then making it look like the base has googly eyes when it explodes. Particularly the dire one because it looks like it's vomiting with googly eyes. It's great. But side point, that's not something that can be really feasible with StarCraft because you change one thing. And, I mean, you give a Marine a different rifle, that is loading 100 more times than anything loads in Dota.
That is a good point.
And it's all over the map. And, well, when people use... Do you use the unit loader? Because I do. Just because when I spawn, if, like, for the first time I get my Ultralisk out and I want to control him right that second, he pops out. There's that slight bit of delay when it kind of loads and keeps processed that model for future use.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you're dealing with the Doghouse System, so that thing's a beast. Probably just loads it immediately for you. But for the rest of us, whenever you make a unit for the first time, there is a little bit of a hiccup.
Oh, really?
As a kind of, so the unit loader is a custom map you can go to in the arcade. Just look it up. And it just pop, it just loads every single unit, renders it, and then when you go into your first game, you'll load a lot faster.
Gotcha. Okay. I was not even aware that existed. My computer's getting old, man. I think it may sound like I have like the best damn thing ever. But that being said, it is still doing really well, and you should totally go check out our sponsors.
Right. And Blizzard has always been extremely concerned with performance, which I love, and particularly optimization, which is just amazing.
All of their games play really well on crappy computers.
They do, and you can turn things down to a ridiculous level. I mean, go into, like, the biggest example I can give, well, World of Warcraft is definitely one, but that's, like, sight range is really what's hugely affected when you put that down to minimum.
There's a lot of things that are affected in that game. Have you ever turned everything to low on that game? It looks like RuneScape.
Oh, it looks awful.
It looks so bad.
But you have that artificial fog.
Right. And so, like, old school N64 games.
It's kind of funny, little side note here, that Silent Hill wasn't going to have the fog originally. They just couldn't render anything 15 feet away from you. Yeah. So they added the fog, and it became a staple, like, story game and, like, huge part of the movie they made about it and all. Yep. But go into Diablo and turn that baby all the way down.
Yeah.
So, and, I've been wishing for a long time if World of Warcraft would have, like, dynamic lighting. Like, I would love to go into a dungeon, have, like, everyone holding the torch.
Yeah. I mean, we got at least we finally got like real-time shadows, but
exactly.
Yeah.
But like really like dungeon crawl, like gritty and dark, and a fireball flying across the ground leaves a little shadow as it goes, kind of like Skyrim has. But they're very concerned about performance, which is good. And to get back to this point, XP per day, it's exciting that they're trying to incentivize people. I want to know where this is going, and I would love to be able to spend XP on specific things.
Yes. At the moment, this doesn't make me that excited. If they are going to be doing new things with it, bring it on.
Could go somewhere.
Yeah. Go check out the official site for more on that 2.1. But that's really about it. There's a new balanced test map on the block as well. David Kim made a post back on the 2nd of January. Apparently, the guys over at Blizzard get right back to work after New Year's.
Well, I'm sure when you live and breathe that, it's hard to turn it off over the holidays.
Yeah.
Probably come back to the office with some fresh ideas. And this is not a balanced test map yet, but it's soon to be implemented.
Yes. And here are the balance changes you'll be testing. Photon overcharge duration is going to be decreased from 60 to 40. David Kim said that we believe that the Mothership Core is a very well-rounded unit. We like the early aggressive options the Mothership Core provides, such as being able to recall back at the right moments, but we wonder whether the defensive nature of the Mothership Core can be toned down a bit. We like to see more options for Terran and Zerg to attack, skirmish, or harass a Protoss player who plays defensively.
So this is what they've identified as the major issue. And if you had your ear to the ground throughout the holidays, basically since WCS ended, Protoss is OP at the moment. It's the word. And you know what? I think David Kim found it right here. They're defending as a Protoss right now in the early game. If it wasn't damn easy in Wings of Liberty, because you could do the Forge Fast Expand. But now with the Mothership Core, you're basically untouchable in the beginning, which means you can advance easily into the middle game, and then you get your strong army, and, well, the Immortal pushes back, Garrett, and it's not fun.
God, that's... Oh, you just gave me nightmares. Why'd you bring that up?
You know what? Because I had Immortals and Sentries roll into my base and do the old Zerg block in the ramp and take out my natural.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can't get in there anymore is a pretty big issue. And I agree with this.
Bring it on. I don't like Protoss. I hate them. I want to get in their base. Roach Burrow move speed is it increased? It doesn't say where it's moving from to 2.25. It must be being increased because of what David Kim is saying. It says of the various changes we made in the last balance patch, this one seems to be the one that didn't do much. We rarely see any Roach Burrow move games, and we'd like to bump this up a bit more with the hope that we'd see it. Considering the few games we did see this strategy being used, they were really fun and different compared to the other strategies that Zerg use. Perhaps we can move in small steps in order to see some more Burrow move speed usage in various matchups.
Right, so we increased the speed in the test map, then decreased it because it was too powerful, and now we're increasing it back again.
Okay.
Because it kind of evened out, Originally, everyone's using it. It's really exciting. It's winning games. People learn how to counter it right after the nerf happened, and now we need to reapproach it with all the counters in mind.
Now, Kyle, do you think that Roach Burrow speed is going to become the new combined armory upgrades? It's going to be this thing that they're not going to be able to stop tinkering with for a while?
You know what? It's a weird thing. Because I haven't seen Roaches win a game in a long time. But they want to encourage different play styles, and that's going to help out the scene a lot. We really need more approaches to the game so that different players can have different styles and be unique in that way. I mean, right now in the current meta, you either do the right thing or you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, we left 2013 a little burnout on the current play style. For sure.
So we're hoping to insert a little bit of, fun back in, and we'll see if this does it.
Yep. David Kim also talked about what the next step for Terran is, which is apparently mech. Nothing specific, but he said that they want to push mech usage more. Some of the options they said they are looking at is higher armor damage for siege tanks, easier access to EMP when going mech. He says such as building the energy upgrade into the unit, buffing mech air, and so on. He did say specifically that this is the area where they are the least certain. So they're really hoping for some feedback on this subject. Because this seems quite all over the board.
But you see what they're going for, right? They want new play styles, and what this says to me right now is we want to encourage anything that's not mass marines.
Yeah, please do.
Because increasing something like the damage against armored units, that's a specific thing that you should get a siege tank for if you see a bunch of roaches. But right now, the idea is that something with armor should be able to just push through a whole bunch of, light units that are shooting tiny little shots. Still 8 damage is nothing to scoff at, even if you take 3 armor off it and it's, only down to 5. But still, you have that many shots going at once, armor doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
And so there aren't tactical choices being made.
Right. Yeah.
And people love mech. Everyone loves mech. Who doesn't like mech?
Everyone loves seeing it, and we're just not seeing it. And it makes me very sad. Any of the games towards the end of last year where Terrans were going mech against Zerg, damn, they were fun to watch, but eventually you just get beaten back.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful line, but the immobility is what kills you against Zerg right now. And without the Hellbat nerf that happened a long while ago, the mobility of mech again was back to where it was in Wings of Liberty because no one's making Hellbats anymore.
Yeah. That's sad stuff, but I totally get the overall look at this is just I feel like Blizzard is acknowledging the fact that we're all a little bored with the current meta and they want to switch it up, and I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, and no Oracle changes in this list.
Good, thank God. Leave it the hell alone.
Yeah, that was weird.
Stay away from the Oracle. I hate them. They're fast enough. I don't care. Let's do something else, and this is looking like they're doing something else. I'm not sure about the Roach Burrow. I don't feel like, unless you make them broken fast, I don't think we're still going to see a lot of use of that.
You know what? At this speed, you can outrun a Colossus, which is pretty huge.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be fighting a Colossus with roaches in the first, because, yes, it would go grand if all they had is a Colossus and you have nothing but roaches. Good on you, you win the fight. But usually a Colossus isn't all by himself. He's usually sporting things that are anti-armor, like Immortals, like Stalkers. So is that really what we're looking for?
Yeah. And something I feel like we don't talk about a lot on the show is how does this kind of stuff affect people who aren't pro players? Your average everyday player, people bronze through platinum. And I think something like Roach Burrow speed is actually going to be a lot of fun in the lower leagues.
Yeah, most certainly.
So,
but the problem with Roach Burrow speed for me is the way the expansion worked with spore crawlers becoming available at the spawning pool, and in general, more cloaked units, more air units. There's just not a lot of room for anything that's cloaked anymore to get in and get something done. Roaches are a little different because you can mass them, and it can actually be like, nope, I'm coming in anyway. Nope, excuse me, just plow on through. It doesn't matter because you have enough of them, but messing with a cloaked unit isn't really going to fix too much.
Yeah, so we'll see. That's what the balanced test map is for. So,
yep.
Moving on, we got some WCS 2014 news. Specifically, the start dates for Season 1 went up today. So here it is, WCS America.
Which is great, because otherwise we were going to be sitting here saying, we don't really know what's happening, because everything on the calendar is to be determined.
Yes, yeah, I tweeted at Kim Fan, thanking her for posting this link, because I was literally trying to find this information when she tweeted it out. Anyway, so on WCS America, the Challenger League is going to be starting on January 21st. The round of 32, the Premier League, will be starting February 18th. So we got a little while to wait for the big dogs, as I don't really ever call the Premier League. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, moving on. WCS Europe Challenger League starts on the 21st as well. Same for their Premier League. And then we get into GSL or WCS Korea, whatever you want to call it. We're calling it GSL, damn it, because we're old school GSL fans.
Yep.
And it's the Challenger League starts up on January 15th. Code A, to those of you who prefer to call it the correct thing. And Code S starts up on February 5th. I'm very excited that Korea starts sooner in all aspects.
Pretty much. That's how I'm going to get excited.
I need me some Korean games. Bring it on.
It's been a while.
Have you taken a look at their Code A? It looks nice. There's some damn good players in Code A.
It's filled out, certainly. Well, I'm still hoping for DRG, of course.
Yep.
No, not jumping on that train with me.
No, dude. I mean, as far as Zer go, you know I'm a DRG fan.
Yeah.
So, bring it. You wanted to just point everyone to the WCS player handbook went up, or someone found it. I don't know where this popped up, but this is strange to look at. The whole thing is there, viewable in PDF form. This is if you're a player, this is what they give you. And you said there were some strange highlights in here.
Yeah, well, this was posted by Huck back before Christmas. I think it was along the 17th or so. And he was basically like, here's all the requirements that I had to sign. Check it out. And it's just full of various regulations, all about how if you're participating in WCS, some of the things you can't do, which is do raffles on your stream for beta keys that you might have. Or if you are doing a shoutcast of a WCS match just completely by yourself, some of the things you can't do, which is, of course, like make money off of it. But I know there's a lot of people out there who do things like that, who are into doing their own shoutcasts of certain matches. So you may want to check it out if you're into that sort of thing. Otherwise, it's the requirements for being a WCS player. And hey, it's good that we have these.
Yeah, that's strange. You can't like raffle off beta keys. Who gives a crap? It's not like he's like, I need $30, which is against the Blizzard terms of service anyway. Like, to begin with.
It's basically it's the same thing as you got in like middle school or high school, remember you'd go to like a pep rally or something and they'd be like, remember, not only when you're at our school, but when you're out and about, you are a representative of blah, blah, blah high school.
The thing I rolled my eyes at every time I heard it and still do.
Exactly. And then the cheerleaders would come out and try to get you pumped about a team. And I didn't care.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
But so like, no pornography on your channel, no alcohol, no tobacco or cigarettes, no firearms, no gambling websites, and no selling gold, no hacking, account selling, or key sellers.
So don't do things that we are technically against our EULA anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Thanks, Blizzard.
Just in general, you shouldn't do anything illegal on a stream in the first place.
Strange.
Throwing it out there. Even if you're not streaming, don't do it on Skype.
Yeah. We'll have a link to this in the show notes over at amove.tv/StarCast. The top 5 plays from 2013 went up on the official WCS YouTube, and they're actually pretty freaking badass.
They're very agreeable.
Yeah. Yeah, number 1 being Scarlet versus Bomber with the sickest Baneling burrow in the history of anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen some good Baneling burrows in the past, but as for like game-winning ones where she was just struggling with Mutalisk against so many Marines, that was an excellent hit. Though I think number 5 is certainly my favorite with the Hero Ultralisk, with 18 or 27 queens healing him.
I missed that game entirely. I don't understand how I didn't catch wind of that.
Oh, this was a while ago.
I'd never heard about that play, and it was insane.
You can see Ultralisk like stuck behind the other queen, so it's not like he didn't have more to fight it with. It's just the one that was out in front and managed to get in kept getting healed over and over again and survived.
It took out the whole freaking Terran army. And I love in the little transition they show the Ultralisk from the cinematic. That's nice touch there, guys. So go check that out.
It was very well put together. It starts off with, all right, here we are, top highlights of 2013, the biggest year of StarCraft ever. I'm like, well, hang on. Because it was a bit of a rough year, I feel like. 2013. We certainly the biggest year of WCS ever, and the most well-organized WCS has ever been.
Yeah, looking back on it, I've definitely missed my regular freaking GSL, which was better than WCS, and
Yeah,
I'm glad it's going back. It's back. I got what I
Exactly.
wanted, so there it is.
Not only that, but just that they're doing the sort of global GSL thing is just so exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, GSL was always global. What are you getting at?
Oh, that you don't have to be a Korean. It doesn't have the residency requirements that the other places have.
Oh, right. So it went back to the way it used to be.
Exactly.
which
If
is
you can get
basically what I
in,
was
you're
saying.
in.
Yeah. Okay, good. So if you're a total sick nerd baller, you're in good shape.
Right. Whereas the rest of the world needs our handicaps to make sure them Koreans don't come over and take our spots.
Yeah. So the next two stories kind of goes in nicely with people getting what they want, because I think a lot of people are about to get what they want, because first up, MLG is bringing StarCraft 2 back. For at the very least, the Anaheim MLG. I'll be curious to see if it sticks around after this.
Yeah, this is an invitational. So, we're not calling MLG the sudden charity again or anything. They see a window, an opportunity to get a whole bunch of popular streamers and players together and have them battle it out. And it's probably going to bring in a lot of people. And so good for them for reinvesting in StarCraft.
Yeah. Oh my God, one of the invited players is in control. When was the last time he played a game?
See, that's why it's kind of like, all right, cool. This isn't serious, is it?
Well, there's some absolutely stellar players. I mean, you've got Scarlet, Huck, Minigun, Suppy, Vibe, and QXC. Yeah. I mean,
You're going to have some excellent games, but the overall tone with their sort of new game online tournament hosting, MLG has been working to build their own system so that they don't have to go through Twitch for these events. One, we're all hoping that it can be a competitor with Twitch so that they kind of fix some of the issues they've been having in the past. But also, MLG just has to spend a ton of money getting Twitch to host them and everything they have to do to use other services to stream their events.
Right.
They have their own client. They get to skip all that. But it's being casted by Cats and Destiny. Fan favorites, certainly, but that doesn't highlight the serious tone of this invitational.
Don't get me
And we're
started.
certainly not going to be getting any WCS points.
What are you talking about, man? Those casters make me so excited.
Right?
Yeah.
Nothing against Cats.
Yeah. Actually, Cat's a good guy.
Yeah, really nice guy. But if you haven't listened to past shows, we've had our fill of Destiny drama that we have raised our eyebrows at.
I've done, raised other things too, particular fingers, to be specific. But no, I'm all for this, especially since this invitational is specifically North American. We don't have a whole lot of North American events right now. I'm all for it.
And the fact that something like this can happen again really shows that WCS might have some room for things like this, but also it's happening on the 13th. So Monday might not have the biggest show, but the VODs will get posted. It'll be a fun event and it's going to kind of get squeezed in right before WCS really hits running.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just looked at it, and the round of 32s for all regions aren't happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I think they're fine. They'll be up.
Yep.
January is pretty much up for grabs.
I was just kind of hoping that this invitational, when it originally got announced over the holidays, was going to be during one of those down seasons that we talk about in between the WCSs, so we can kind of feel what that scene's going to be like this year. Those things haven't started filling up, is what I mean.
Yeah. The invitational starts on January 19th. The voting starts on the 15th.
Oh, the voting. Oh,
There's extra slots for extra players. The voting starts on the 15th, it looks like. The invitational itself starts on the 19th and runs through the 26th. Voting January 13th through the 17th, starting Monday. You can visit Game On's website to vote for your favorite players to take the last 4 spots, et cetera, et cetera. Well, we have a link in the show notes again over at amove.tv/StarCast. You can check that out if you want to see more on the subject. But I'm trying to look real fast. I don't think... Does Anaheim have a date yet? I don't think so.
Yes. we did get a date, and it is June 20th and 22nd.
Or through the 22nd. Okay. All right. So Anaheim's still a long way out, but sweet. We actually have a big name tournament this month.
Yeah.
Other than Challenger League.
And of course, I don't know if you've been. Oh my goodness, I've completely forgotten the name of the website. And I'm going to look it up here real fast. But there's an esports joke website that's been getting circled around all the different Reddits, and it's a quite amusing place. This is the place that did the fake David Kim email.
Oh, okay, awesome.
But they did an article about how MLG crawled back to StarCraft 2 after breaking up with it.
That's great.
Esports Express is the website.
Esports Express, is it .com, .net?
It is a .com.
Okay, cool. So go check that out.
I love their hacked emails, though. Those are just wonderful. One of my favorites, of course, being the David Kim email where he's emailing Ice Frog and saying, "Hey, man, how do I stay out of the public limelight?"
Anyways, you pointed me to this story. Brood War is possibly coming to GSL? What's going on here?
It's not possible. It is.
Okay, it is?
Yeah, so GSL has said there's an audience for it, and we're going to do this as a one-shot. We don't have any plans to do this.
Okay.
Again, it's an invite-only round of 8, so it's not huge, but they're getting some of the old favorites together. You know, dragging some people out of retirement as well. I've heard about Yellow coming back and some other names that I've kind of heard on the wind, but nothing official is posted yet. They just know they have a fan base that'll be into this, and if it goes well, there may be future Brood War events.
Okay, that's why I was confused, because the GOM TV director said if fans want a next season, we can do it, but for now, there is only GOM TV Season 4 planned.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, that's really cool, and might actually make me watch some Brood War, because I love me some GOM TV production.
Well, and that's one of the things about it is if you go out and look at Brood War things, first of all, the casting streaming scene did not exist.
Nope.
So it's a completely different sensibility that you're watching those things in. You might be watching something that's 100% in Korean or something that's just poorly put together or poorly streamed. Now it can actually be like a full affair. And it's going to be pretty cool to see. And actually, I'm hoping it'll give me the insight that I wanted as to why Brood War was a big deal and why people continue to cite it as the better game in some cases.
Right. Very cool. All right. Well, let's get into our Storm Watch, as we're kind of calling it. This is whenever something new for Heroes of the Storm pops up. And over the holiday break, a new shoutcasted game came up. It was casted by Dustin Browder and Husky.
Man, we really need to get like a sweet bumper for this where it's like Stormwatch 7.
Yes. Bumpers may be making a return to the show very soon. More on that at 12.
Yes. News at 11.
Very cool. Anyways, this match was I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I don't know. I was like, I'm going to be really professional when I talk about this tonight. But really, I want to play this freaking game. It needs to go into beta. That's the only thing I walked away with.
So this is Heroes of the Storm, the game that is being developed in Blizzard, kind of their MOBA Super Smash Bros. If you're not familiar with it, we've seen it at multiple.
It's
BlizzCons
not like
here.
Super Smash Brothers in any way, other than they're taking all their franchise characters and having them in a game together. But it's not a fighter.
Right, but I don't know, man. Like, how we go here, how far are we away from like Blizzard Golf and Blizzard Tennis? And
really far. Really freaking far.
Well, you know, like that game was crap, like Mario Party 4, but Mario Party 10 is really fun, and we start like getting forgiving because it's the characters we know and love since we were little. It could happen one day, man.
Okay. Well, you just went down a weird dark alley that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but...
well, when have I not?
Yeah. How far is it from golf? Pretty far, considering this is a game type that was developed inside one of their own damn games. I'd say it's really close to what they already do, Kyle. Just putting it out there.
Absolutely. And it is in the StarCraft client at the moment.
Yep.
And it is going to be a free-to-play game that we have seen evolve a lot over the past year. So over the holidays, Dustin Browder, who has done like shoutcasting in The Office and is now kind of taken it on to be the official shoutcaster both at BlizzCon and then for this match here, and he joined up with Husky to do it.
I want Ben Brode from the Hearthstone team to do Shack casting because that man has one of the most magnificent voices.
He has a great voice. I feel like he could have been the voiceover for like Garrosh, because that guy sounded the exact same when he was speaking his voice. But let's be serious here. That Hearthstone guy, the cast would have been 50% laughing. And loves to laugh. If you didn't hear the interview you guys did over on Angry Chicken, you should check that out. It was a great interview.
Yeah, episode 9, I believe. Anyway, so let's talk about this. They played one game. It was the same members of the Heroes of the Storm design team that played at BlizzCon. There was a live game played at BlizzCon, and it was the same guys. It's the guys that freaking balanced the game. It was on the map Cursed Hollow. Do you say cursed or cursed?
Cursed.
Cursed? I'm calling it Cursed Hollow. No, cursed.
Though when I was younger, I couldn't figure out the difference between sacred and scared. So when I was going through the scared forest in Zelda, Ocarina of Time, I was just so confused because it wasn't that scary. And I was like hanging out, like hiding from the Deku kid. Like, when's this gonna get creepy, guys?
Oh, dyslexia, you're great. Anyway, Cursed Hollow is the map with the Raven Lord, and if you're a WoW player, no, it is not that awesome mount that everyone wants.
No, this is like one of their custom Nexus characters, which is what they're calling the in-between land where all their franchises meet up.
Yep, it is the pulled out of my butt reason for this game existing, and I'm okay with it.
Yep, why not? Let's have fun.
Bring it. Yeah, so there's this...
Which is actually, this is the map we played at BlizzCon and did none of the objectives and just battled it.
Oh, was this the map we were on? I honestly didn't recognize it.
There was if you noticed, I don't know if you even remember much from that game we played at BlizzCon, but there was one point where our team collected all the tributes and gave the curse to your guys as, pushers.
So that's why minions and buildings. The bases get severely hurt as well. So there's a ghost on the map called the Raven Lord, and he periodically places tributes on one tribute on the map, and you have to like channel on it for X amount of time, and then your team will gain that tribute. And when you get 3 tributes, the Raven Lord curses the opposing team. And apparently it's freaking badass because the forts, which is what they're calling your base, and it's different from Dota. There's 6, at least on this map, there's 6 what they're calling forts. So it's like, how is it? It must be, it's 3 and 3. Like there's like a top lane in your fort, and there's a bottom lane in the fort, right?
You have the 6 forts along 3 lanes. They're not the strong sort of forested lanes that you have in other MOBAs. It's more just kind of general, but there are 3 different entrances to the base.
And they're all gated off by gates that can eventually be broken down.
And by taking out the walls that are in between the gates, you can then just kind of get rid of the lanes entirely.
Right. And so that's important to explain what the curse does, because when you're cursed, your forts are they will not attack, so their towers aren't attacking, and they have half of the health they normally would, so they can be burned down much faster. On top of that, they're calling them minions. They're creeps. The creeps are reduced to 1 hit point.
Yep.
So you just if you're the one doing the cursing, you're just ranking up XP and beating down the door of your opponent. So if you're the team that is cursed, you need to go on some serious defense against your opponents to make sure that your base doesn't just get ravaged.
And now at this stage of the game, I'm really seeing why this stuff works well for the 20-minute style they're going for. Because in other MOBAs, if you turtle and like really want to hold on, damn, you can do it. You can do it for like 45 minutes. But going out in the woods and getting some additional minions to spawn and fight with you like they were doing in this game with the Grave Lord can really help push the game along. And if you have an advantage, you gain the advantage that much faster. You grab all the tributes, you get the enemy curse, and you just get in there and destroy them.
Yeah.
As well as giving, like, if the other team messes up, they're too busy dinking around in your base. You run around and grab all the tributes and run them over. I mean, you can get back as well. So it's a really cool system. One of the first things I noticed about this game watching it is there is an esports kind of layout. They had kills up in the top, and they had a nice little, like, push-in counter down in the bottom.
Yep. They're definitely...
jazzed it up a bit.
They're definitely thinking about the stuff ahead of time.
Yeah, I think maybe the Hearthstone team came over and was like, guys, we screwed up.
Just so you know, people are going to want to do tournaments of this the second it's in their hands.
Yep. So let's go ahead and enter that in. One of the other things I noticed, and you can't really tell what the players are seeing in this game because it is an overview where you are seeing everything, turned on. There's no fog of war or anything like that to really tell you where people aren't seeing each other. But when you're in the game yourself as a character, you do have a line of sight and some dynamic lighting. So if you're standing behind a tree, you can't see the other side of it. So like Nova and other characters are like hiding behind trees for half the game, and you're like, what the heck are they doing?
Right. So there were a couple heroes in this that were not playable at BlizzCon. Muradin, the dwarf, is back because he was confirmed back when it was called Blizzard Dota. He was one of the first heroes we saw, but he wasn't playable at BlizzCon. But he's back now. He appears to be what they're calling the warrior class, which sounds pretty much like a carry, kind of.
Well, the assassin is your carry in the classic sense. And we're talking like drows and guys who don't have a lot of health, but are dishing out the heavy damage. And if for some reason they were to get absurdly ahead, they would be the ones to completely win. The warrior is going to be your durability guys.
Okay, gotcha. Because at one point, Dustin Brother referred to Tyrael as a carry, and he's under the warriors, and that's probably why I got confused.
Yeah, Tyrion's kind of an odd one because we were seeing a lot of... I could have sworn he was going to be a support character because he's doing like a sort of chain heal, kind of like an IO sort of thing from Dota. He was doing some like smiting and things like that, which made me think he was an assassin.
He can shield himself.
Right, but he was also connecting himself with golden lasers to other heroes, which I assume was giving them like some regen or maybe sharing the shield.
Okay. I'm looking at this because there is a wiki up over on the Curse site for Heroes of the Storm, and some of the heroes actually have their abilities on here. And I'm looking at this, and it must be...
a link is created between an ally and Tyrael, and the damage is redirected to Tyrael. Okay, so that is a warrior ability.
Yeah, he looks like... He sounds... like, looking at his abilities, this looks very much like Abaddon in Dota.
Sure.
His shield even explodes when it diminishes.
I mean, come on. If we're gonna draw those straws and like make those connections, we're walking around with Pudge in the middle of the map here. In fact, we have talking about Dota again, which I feel like I've done for the 100th time on this episode. I'm sorry, everyone, but recently in that game, you had the Skeleton King Leoric in the Warcraft 3 version had to be turned into the Wraith King, a Ghost King instead of a Skeleton King, so that it wasn't being confused with what I assume is going to be the Skeleton King for Heroes of the Storm. And also, Pudge had an update as well recently where they removed his gaping giant intestine hole on his stomach and patched it up with a nice little, cross-sewing. And he doesn't have the extra arm on his back, thereby further removing him from the abomination.
Oh, that makes me sad. I like the old Pudge. I mean,
you got Pudge shooting a hook. You got Stitches shooting a hook. He's not doing gas. He's not, doing the off.
Right, but I mean, he's clearly the most, like, that's the most one-to-one comparison.
Right, and I'm not into League of Legends, but the comments on this video, a lot of it were, "Oh wow, way to go, Blizzard! That's the exact same ability as blah blah blah." And you know what, dudes? You come up with 100 abilities and tell me that there's no overlap.
And also, League of Legends is an offshoot of Dota, which was made from Warcraft 3, so suck it.
It's just one of the, like, what, that guy's a Death Knight. That's the exact same thing as the evil guy on horseback. Well, you know what? Evil dude on horseback, let me tell you, that's been around for a while.
I want to see their comments on Tolkien books.
Right?
Oh, Ring Race, man. They're totally ripping that off League of Legends.
Dude, way to rip off Dementors. God.
Anyways, I'm really excited for the other hero that I don't believe was playable at BlizzCon, which is Tyrande, the Night Elf priestess.
So she's the one that was always riding the tiger. Where's her tiger? Oh, well, they got rid of all the mounts.
Yeah, and yeah.
But that, I mean, for me, Warcraft 3, like it's Furion's girlfriend. She's always on a tiger.
she's in WoW now.
Oh, she's always hanging out in the Night Elf capital city.
No.
Tyrande Whisperwind?
Yeah, she's not in the. Yeah. She's in there, and she's not on a tiger. So, anyways, doesn't matter. I'm excited because it is. It's a support character with a bow and arrow, so bring it on.
Oh, I see now.
Yeah,
I was really excited by the Witch Doctor because he had a really cool grabbing ability. Seemed like it's hard to tell if he dropped the wall of zombies, the circle of zombies, and then ran out of it before it popped up, or if he could actually target that thing. But that was neat seeing him like capture people in there. And certainly his ultimate ability where he basically summons a big ghost that just wails on everyone it passes was pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's apparently it's a voodoo doll. It's the biggest damn voodoo doll I've ever seen.
It's a little big. And I was kind of sad because there's one point in Dustin Browder's kind of talking like, I'm thinking Super Smash Bros. Smash Ball. And he's like, they're getting close to 20. Here it comes. Ultimate abilities. And then the game ended. And I was like, oh.
That was disappointing.
It was cool to see the level 10 abilities, but I wanted to see like them unleash some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But overall, really cool game. It was nice to see a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Because what was it? I'm trying to think who was on what side. Blue was on left, right? So they were the ones who were doing real shitty in the beginning. Yes.
I couldn't tell you, but either way, one team did really shitty and was getting schooled. Then they came back, and then it pushed back again.
Yeah.
So it was a very good back and forth. Happened in under 19 minutes, which is pretty amazing for a game of this style. Of course, still no items, no individual levels, no last hitting. A lot of things people are really excited about in a casual setting for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So just go watch it because I am so excited for this game, and this is not helping. Go into beta. Just go into beta. Closing statement, Go into beta. All right. Well, before we end the episode, we're gonna try a new segment. We're gonna try a new thing. I'm not sure if it'll be weekly, but we'll definitely do it when there's something worthy. Stupid drama of the week.
So I'm so excited about this section. You have no idea because we have shaken our heads and laid our brows upon our palms for over 2 years now at some of the things that have come out of the StarCraft scene. Some of them are just drama for drama's sake, people being immature, companies messing up, whatever it be. We've tried to deliver this in the most professional way possible. But after 3.5 years of this show or so, it's time to call some people out. And this show is about having fun. And this is what this section is going to be about.
Yes. So this week's Stupid Drama of the Week award goes to Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel for their discussion of esports, which included really intelligent discussion like this little nugget.
Okay, I was astounded, Soledad. I was astounded by that story. I had zero knowledge of the fact that this exists.
You didn't know there were cyber athletes?
My hand to God, I didn't know there were but my issue is it's still not a sport.
Well,
it's a game. You follow me what I'm saying here, Bernie?
I do. Do you have any statistics on how many of those people also go to Star Trek conventions?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was intelligent discussion.
This is HBO Sports, and to hear someone say it's not a sport, it's a game, is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
Because there's not there's nothing called a football game or a baseball game, right?
Those aren't games, right? Serious business.
Yeah.
But you can hear the one lady in the background who put this segment together for the show. The particular segment was about League of Legends and one of their big prize pools. You can hear her trying to interject. And he's like, do you have always trying to make that Star Trek nerds?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's trying to be like, wait, I let me get in here.
Yeah.
And also, dude, the people who are probably competing in these matches right now probably don't, I mean, other than the new movies, aren't Trekkies. Like, if you call yourself a Trekkie and all you've seen is the new movies, like that doesn't even count. Are there even new Trekkies being made?
Kyle, you're feeding into what he was talking about. You're acting like a nerd, Kyle.
I'm so sorry.
We also got this little gem from it.
You have to physically be able to do it. They're competing. Listen, is it a sport or not? I believe
No.
it's a sport. They get sports visas
say no?
to
It's a
enter the
game.
country.
That's not a sport.
That's not a
That's
sport.
not a
It's
sport.
not a
I
real
want to talk
sport.
about the 20 million people who are watching the damn thing.
And the money
They
that
got to
they're
be
making,
crazier
And
than
they're
the
paying
ones
big money to watch it.
it's $1 million pot at the end of that game.
Well, as one of the 20 million people, fuck you.
Oh my goodness, dude. This guy making the accusation that the people who watch esports are extraordinarily lazy because the people who are competing are lazy. That is just, it is mind-boggling.
It's straight up incorrect.
Let me put a picture in your mind here. Sports fan. What did I just draw in your head? Probably a fat guy, right?
I was about to say, I'm not sure I want to go down this road of doing exactly what this guy just did for another group of people.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a one-to-one comparison here.
Yeah. As someone who occasionally enjoys watching a professional sports game, or as another podcaster I enjoy, Brian Bushwood calls sports ball. God, this is just it was so freaking bad. So at the beginning of that last clip we just played, the one woman out of the gaggle of morons on parade here actually starts to make a good discussion with facts that she clearly researched, and everyone just starts talking over her. And then the old guy on the far right, who just looks like they dug him up out of, like, I don't even know.
Let me use your comparison, man. If you're that old, like, how old is your audience? Wow. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
But no, she was trying really hard to bring a informative bit about esports, even bringing up there in the background about how there's sports visas being handed out for these sort of things these days. You got to make room. HBO Sports, it's not HBO Gaming Sports. It's not HBO Esports. So it's not the kind of show that is going to have continual content, even if esports does become even more mainstream than it is right now. But
20 million viewers is just, it's so not mainstream, man. It's so underground.
oh wow,
It's so small and niche. Yeah. I get in their defense, now that I think we've sufficiently shit on them. By definition, esports is not a sport. I guess a good way to put it is, Kyle, would you consider chess a sport?
Right, that's different for me. When we get into defining what's a sport and what isn't, because I feel like sports, you have to be physically able to do something. And that's what increases the spectacle of the feat. And something like StarCraft, in my mind, is a sport because that is not something physically that anyone can do. Even, and you're dealing with rules and other sorts of things like this. Every single game has rules. And if you walk in not knowing the rules, of course you're going to fail and you're going to have a bad time. It's about like actually physical challenges that make it a sport for me.
Right. And I don't know. I guess I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I think I agree with the notion that it is not technically a sport by traditional definition, but not in their defense. I believe this is something that news outlets that cover professional competitive events should take note of. They should, perk up and pay attention when 20 million people tune in to watch a competition.
Sure. There is a divide, though. I mean, think about kind of an odd example, but think about movies for kids. Air Bud. Like, that's a bad movie.
Where are you going with this?
Well, hang on here. So that is a movie made for children, and it is bad. But if you were a child, it is awesome, and you don't care because you see children on TV, you go, I'm a child, I'm connecting to this is a good movie. And as you get older, you might have nostalgia and you might enjoy it later into your life. The thing about esports is right now it's all young kids. And it seems like adults don't have the chops or maybe can't invest the time to become pro athletes in this sport. So I think moving forward, that's going to be one of the big hurdles for esports is, can we hold on to some older crowds, not only just in the audience, but actually participating and combating the younger guys? And when we can do that, I think we'll be taken a little more seriously.
Yeah. Ace is in the chat room, makes a really good point that to him, professional like esports is more analogous to poker. Which I think is a good
and that
point.
falls in the line of chess with me again. I mean, that is an amazing mental feat. You are taking so much into account. You're dealing with a lot of chance there, but then, what game aren't you dealing with that? I mean, you can say, well, he's dealt random cards. Well, sure, but you're fighting a random assortment of units that you don't know are going to be coming out. You can make assumptions. You can kind of card count in your head or whatever to get that advantage.
Right. So, yeah, that's a really good point. So, I don't know. It's like semantics at this point that we're arguing. Esports, it's a term. It's serious competition, and to me, that's all that matters.
Yep.
And and I'd much rather watch that than soccer or something.
Good on you, Real Sports HBO talk. Brian Gumbel. You didn't do us proud, though. No. I don't feel like you enlightened and brought in a new audience today.
Yeah. Hey, at least, we didn't play. At least they rolled like 2 minutes before they went on the uninformed train. They ran 2 minutes of footage from the League of Legends tournament and with some VO telling exactly what was going on, which was, I think, a much better representation.
Right. It was okay. The voiceover on it was a bit... well, the guy they were interviewing for it was more about how exciting it is for these kids to get to show off their skills and compete, even though it's a game. And it was too much excuse about, even though it's a game, rather than this is a sport in the first place.
Yeah.
As to people commenting in the chat right now, yes, it was some other drama this week, of course, and really, really dumb drama. But it was not StarCraft related. It involved personalities who had a disagreement about stupid stuff. But I think we're going to try to keep stupid drama of the week pretty StarCraft centric, or at least esports centric.
I feel like the role play thing probably would have won this week had the Bryant Gumbel thing not happened.
Sure. And if you feel like you have found something awesome that would be stupid drama of the week, certainly send it in.
Yeah.
And
StarCast StarCastShow@gmail.com is where you can send anything you want to send it.
And this is where we're going to stop the show today, because we make time for emails, and right now we don't have any. And we'd love to hear from you guys. This show can go as long as it has in the past, up to 2 hours. But we're going to prepare an hour of content for you guys this year. And if there's no emails, that's it. That's a show.
Indeed. So send them in. StarCastShow@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of 2014. As always, StarCast is a production of amove.tv. You can find this and many other great shows over at amove TV, so bookmark the page. Kyle and I do a podcast called amove Radio, which is all-encompassing, almost an after show to StarCast. It's just the things we want to talk about, but it doesn't fit into a StarCraft bubble. So go check out amove Radio. Check out my new show, The Angry Chicken, which is all about Hearthstone. And you can find this show and much more about it over at amove.tv/StarCast. That's where the show notes are posted. All of the links that we talked about today, you can find them there. Catch us live Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time over at twitch.tv/AmoveTV. Our VODs are on youtube.com/StarCast Show, and our podcast is also available on the Frog Pants Studios Ultra feed. Our mobile live stream is provided by Alpha Geek Radio, so you can go to alphageekradio.com to pick that up. Our email, once again, is starcastshow@gmail.com, and you can call in and leave us a voicemail at 941-882-0281. We love hearing from the listeners. Our Twitter is @TheStarCast. You can follow me @GarrettArt. Kyle is found @KyleFergusson. And finally, check out nomoonart.com for my graphic design portfolio. It's a thing I do on the side. It's how I pay my bills. So go check it out. Kyle, where can people find you?
You can also find me at Biggest Fan Podcast, where this week we did 2013, the year that was. And this was every single topic we hit over the last year. And that's a lot of topics. It's about 50 episodes that we did this past year. So there's a lot of topics. It's a pretty long episode. That'll be coming out Monday or so. Our next topic, while completely unrelated to any sort of news, usually we try to do some sort of tie-in for it, is God of War. Brockett finally, over the Christmas season, picked himself up a PS3 because they're on sale. And, hey, he's got tons of people who are just be like, oh, hey, I've got a PS3. Here's all the games I don't play anymore. So he's just banking, playing games all night and day. And one of them was God of War. So we are going to do that series this week.
I don't like those games. Don't care for them.
I'm aware. It's, you know what? They are giant set pieces. But much like rap, I just enjoy the ridiculousness that I am viewing, and I have a great time.
All right,
I'll
give you that.
A muscle-bound man rip harpies in half while going, huh! It's just like, I can't not laugh. I just love it.
I played through the first one and enjoyed it, and just immediately after that, the second and third one, I was just like, I've done this already.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying.
But I enjoy watching 300 and that show Spartacus that was on Stars, so it's kind of from the same camp. So
wait, so did you tried 2 and wasn't into it, and then didn't try 3?
I tried 2, wasn't into it, got a PS3, bought 3 because it was in a bargain bin, and didn't get past like the second level because I just didn't care.
Damn. Well, of course, it's one of those games where you lose all your powers in the beginning and have to kind of start off at square one because, hey, you've got a game to play here. It's not hold your hand muscle McGee, but...
Yeah. I guess it's just not my cup of tea. I don't know.
For 3, I really enjoyed the sense of speed that they gave Kratos. He always kind of moved like a giant muscle blob, and in this one they actually gave him some running power.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, yeah, just not into it. Anyways, check out our sponsors. Please go to doghousesystems.com. Our code is StarCast. That'll get you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. That same code will get you 30% off and free shipping off of your entire order at tweakedaudio.com, and we thank them for their support. Check them out. Check us out, amove.tv, bookmark it. We will see you next week for episode 178 of StarCast. See you then.
Take care.